Typically, dates and times stored within your database are going to be very specific. Dates are usually specific to a particular day, and times are typically precise to the minute. But when it comes to evaluating or aggregating your data, you might want to look at it a little less granularly. When it comes time to query your data by month and year, Access provides a few simple ways to extract just the level of precision that you need from your date and time fields. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new query in Design View. I'm going to add our orders table and go ahead and close the Show Table window. And I'm going to add 2 instances of our order date. I'm also going to turn on our totals row, and I'm going to change the first total to count. If I run this query, we're going to get a list of the number of orders that were placed on each day. And we can see that some days had multiple orders and some days only had 1 order. Let's go ahead and go back into our design view. So if I wanted to organize my data based off of a different level of detail, for instance, I want to group everything by a specific month, I can use a function to tell Access to do this. Let's go ahead and right-click on our second order date column and open up the zoom box. At the very beginning, I'm going to type in a new alias, and I'm going to call this grouping. And I'm going to use a function for month. And I'm going to wrap our order date field in square brackets to tell Access that this is the data that we're going to be using. So now we're going to be extracting just the month from the order date. Go ahead and say OK, and run our query again. You'll see that we get a numeric code that represents the month that we're in. So for instance, in the month of January, we've sold a total of 199 products. For the month of December, we sold 151. Now this is grouping all Januaries together, so it doesn't matter if it's in January 2005 or January 2010. All the January dates are getting lumped together in this view. We can go back into our design view and do the same thing for year. This time I'm going to type it directly into the field here, so I'll expand this open a little bit. And we're going to put in a new alias here, and we're going to call this one group by year. We're going to use the year function. I'm going to pull the year out of our order dates, finishing with a square bracket and a closing parentheses. Now I'm going to go back to our first one here and specify that this is grouped by month, so we can tell the difference between the two. And now when I run our query, and we'll see that now we have all of our January 2005 grouped together, and we can see that we have a total of 29 orders in January 05. Now let's go ahead and sort this a little bit differently. I'm going to sort the month from smallest to largest, and then I'm going to sort the year smallest to largest. And that way we can get a better look at our data, so we have everything in order from January to December 05, and then January to December 06, and so on. So this is how we would use the month and year functions to format our dates. We have similar functions for day, so that would be day and then parentheses, or weekday, week, day, and then parentheses. There's also functions to do the same thing for times, for hour, minute, and second, and they would work exactly the same way. So in order to maintain flexibility, it's always best to store data based on the finest level of detail that you could ever conceivably require. Typically, this is going to be a date specific to the day and a time specific to the minute. Using queries, it's easy enough to strip away all the fluff based upon the specific task that you're working with, and when you don't need that level of detail. With these date and time functions, Access makes it easy to see exactly what you need and nothing that you don't.